Okay, welcome to our October board meeting. Clerk, roll call.
Trustee Prosser? Here. Ball?
Yes.
Sewell? Proud? Yes. Supervisor Cox?
Here. And just want to mention that we do have, we will, for the foreseeable future, have a security here in the building with just one entrance and with the heated environment as we see it. So I think it's for everybody.
It's because that's the door.
Just want to let you guys know if you didn't know somebody was. With that, we'll move on to public comments. You have 5 minutes, and you can just step to the podium.
I am not saying it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kathy Wilson, Derek's mom, and an avid volunteer and unpaid volunteer of the Collinsville Senior Center. I don't need to raise my voice to be right. That's a quote my husband gave me this morning from a Navy SEAL. I have sat back, watched, and listened long enough. Of course, I've heard most of the words you say and actions against Derek, but as a mom who truly loves and believes in her son, sometimes it's been more than I could take. Does that mean the one spreading the mistruths and lies have defeated me? Absolutely not. The way you speak or post says more about you than me. Tonight I'm letting my voice be heard to hopefully clear up rumors that have been said about me on social media. It's really sad because I have used Facebook to share my pictures, my memories, etc., and Facebook is a great place to save those. Now to why I'm speaking. It was brought to my attention that there was a post in the alternate Collinsville Township and on the Collinsville Connection stating that Derek and I had took the Volkswagen to go see Rod Stewart. 100% lies. The post was shared by John Middleton, who uses Derek's photo as his profile picture. Think of that for a second. I don't owe it to any of you to give an explanation of how false this is, but I will. I have receipts. Imagine that, for those of you who really know me, knows I keep everything. I picked Derek up at his house, whereas he actually drove my car to Hollywood Casino, and we parked in the garage. Once we got there, we met our friends from Fairview, my husband and Jeff. For a gift, I had bought the lawn tickets for the 4 of us, and I purchased 6 shuttle tickets to get to the amphitheater from Hollywood Casino. It cost me $90 just for the tickets, which I have the receipts for transportation there and back. We had even met at Hollywood and took pictures with the sign I made about Georgia Napolitano, who sings with Rod Stewart, and a personal friend of mine. So today in my Facebook memories, the movie called CSC Goes to Savannah came up. What a time we had. But then last year, right before the election, all of a sudden, it's at a meeting that Derek and I were being accused of theft from the trip. I almost have to laugh because if truth be known, I probably spent well over $600 of my own money making treats, buying extra prizes, lottery tickets, and giving an after party called Savannah Survival After Party, whereas we gathered here at the CSC to watch videos, eat some grits, and Bird's cookies that I made, along with a goodie bag for every person. I even made Christmas decorations for everyone to remember the trip. Games were played, and the day was enjoyed by over 90 seniors. I've heard rumors for the Super Bowl party, chili cook-offs, etc., that the money raised was pocketed. Again, false rumors. I personally made a huge taco bar and dessert bar with my own expense. I had raffles where I gave the prizes out of pocket, where all proceeds went to the empty bowl. I've done that several times, whereas on my own have made gift baskets that I sold raffle tickets for, where all of the money went to the empty bowl. I could go on and on, but I only have 5 minutes. I can't even count the times I've made special treats, prizes, and etc. just for the senior center. I spend hundreds of dollars on hot cocoa and cookie bars for Christmas. I have never taken one dime for anything at the senior center. The first 2 years, I personally made over 50 dozen cookies, furnished the ingredients, packaging, and icing to come to CSC, whereas we decorated and we take it to the police department, the fire department, nursing homes, etc. The last 2 years, CSC does provide the cookie mix, but I still provide the packaging, icing, aprons, etc. Every Volkswagen trip, I pay my fee. I bring games, prizes, and snacks for everyone. I pay for every lunch, even if I prepared it. People often ask me, why do I give so much? And my stock answer is, I am beyond proud of the difference Derek has made in the lives of all these seniors. He made a promise and he stuck to it. His promise 5 years ago to make the CSC come alive, he has done tenfold. There's not a day that I come up here that someone doesn't tell me what a difference Derek has made in their lives. So that is why I do what I do. I really hate that I had to spend an entire day blocking and unfriending people on Facebook, but my husband Mark Wilson has always told me, relentless positivity. It's so hard, so I'm trying to get rid of all the negatives. I have nothing to hide and will not sit by idly anymore. When falsehoods are spread towards me and my husband, it was quoted in the newspaper that Mark Wilson made a comment at the meeting, and he's never even spoke at a meeting. So in closing, Collinsville Alternative and whoever else, you're welcome to challenge me. I am transparent, but I will not tolerate any more public humiliation by posting things that are untrue, whether it means legal or not, because this girl does keep receipts. Thank you all for listening, and thank you, Derek, for your passion and caring to make your promise come true. Just look around in here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As Gabrielle Coote says, we are living our best life at the CSC. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do.
And I do have some pictures of my receipts, if you need those.
All right, next.
Katarina Engel, Collinsville resident. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm addressing two matters that directly impact our community safety and our constitutional rights, our emergency shelter infrastructure, and recent statements regarding community organizing activities. We need to prioritize establishing a proper emergency shelter facility that can function as an overnight warming center during the winter, a cooling center during the summer heat, and as an emergency hub/storm shelter during severe weather events. Currently, there are no emergency storm shelters in the Metro East, a critical gap that leaves our entire region vulnerable. While I understand the appeal of partnering with the church due to permitting considerations, those churches aren't equipped to meet the comprehensive needs of a true emergency shelter. A proper emergency shelter requires specific infrastructure that typical church facilities lack: adequate HVAC systems for extreme temperatures, appropriate bathroom and hygiene facilities, kitchen capabilities for extended stays, backup power generation, and structural requirements to safely shelter people during severe weather. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities for protecting lives. The clock is ticking on cold weather approaching, and we're in an area where tornadoes can strike with little warning. Case in point, if you have not been to North St. Louis, that could have easily been us. We cannot afford a half measure that doesn't truly protect our most vulnerable residents. Our community deserves a real solution that addresses both winter warming needs and year-round emergency shelter requirements. On a separate but equally important matter, I need to address recent statements by Supervisor Cox regarding community organizing in Collinsville. According to the supervisor, the Collinsville Police Department reported an uptick in vandalism following what was characterized as a No Kings protest, including spray-painted buildings and an anti-Trump graffiti. The PD plans to upgrade camera coverage in response. There are several inaccuracies in this characterization that needs addressing. First, these bi-weekly gatherings are not No Kings protests. The last nationwide No Kings protest was in June 2025. These are community organizing events focused on practical civic engagement, informing residents about town meetings, connecting people with mutual aid resources, and facilitating democratic participation. Second, correlation is not causation. The claim that these gatherings cause vandalism is entirely unsupported. There is zero evidence connecting organized peaceful community events to acts of vandalism. To suggest otherwise unfairly maligns participants and undermines legitimate First Amendment activities. Third, if individuals are anti-Trump, that's their constitutional right to be. These events attract people with various concerns about local governance, community support systems, housing issues, and civic participation, not just opposition to one political figure. Conflating peaceful assembly with property crimes stigmatizes lawful protest and chills free speech. Finally, installing improved camera coverage is reasonable for any public facility. However, framing it as a direct response to our organizing efforts implies we bear responsibility for criminal activity, which is both factually inaccurate and reputationally damaging. I'm happy to discuss any legitimate concerns, but accuracy matters. Let's base our discussions on what actually happened, not on speculation or political narratives. Thank you.
My name is Ben Jarrett. I live at 131 Roger Drive, Collinsville, Illinois. I had thought that we had put this to bed last year. And I just want to say something real quick. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm for this building and for the seniors that come here. We have 300 to 400 people in and out of here in a year. Last week we served 112 lunches. Yesterday we did in one day, not all week. Then we did 60 flu and COVID shots. So when people say, you know, this building ought to be used for something else, last week we had a lady, maybe homeless, maybe not, went nuts out here, walking up and down on the concrete blocks out here, screaming. The ladies were scared. I was frightened. I didn't know what she was going to do. And you know, if we bring in all these homeless people, like some of you want, and I understand it, but they take them down to teepee. Do it. Use another building. You can put a generator down there. Derek's good at getting grants. Let him get a grant and do something somewhere else. I don't want the homeless to be out in the cold.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not saying you
For
did. I'm
seniors
just
that are
saying. But you know, I think it's time you guys give this up and this bickering. We've got a township here that's got business that needs to be done, and we're back here talking about stuff we talked about last year, and the people got outvoted, and they're not on the board anymore. And like I say, I'm not a Republican. I'm proud to say I'm a Democrat. But I'm not going to listen to all this stuff about this building is not being used properly, because I don't know what else we could do to make it any more useful for the seniors. And that's who I'm concerned about, not the homeless people, because these seniors have no place to go. If they didn't have this place, they would be sitting at home watching game shows, and they would die. They can come here and have food, conversation, and a dance once in a while, and that's all I got to say. Thank you. Hold it down, hold it down.
I like this popcorn thing, kind of.
They're awesome.
I'm like, who's that in my house? Rachel Dye, Collinsville. By the way, this sign up before time starts, this may be like, where's she going with this? Trust me, go somewhere. For 3 years, I've worked with individuals living with disabilities. Although my work was concentrated in the employment sector, my departments overlapped, including staff who serve clients in home settings. As part of our work, we completed first aid and CPR training yearly. Given who we serve and the challenges they sometimes face, this was an essential choice. One heartbreaking and repeated scenario always stuck out to me. Staff from our SILAs, Community Integrated Living Arrangements, would often report choking incidents. You may be sitting there concluding that with some physical disabilities, this might be more of an issue, and you're not wrong, but it wasn't those choking incidents that broke my heart. You see, we knew as people with an understanding of working with those whom society had cast aside, that many of our clients, especially older clients, were choking not because of any physical ailment, but simply from the conditioning of living life within the confines of an institution like a state-run psychiatric hospital. Hold on with me. They learned to eat quickly as meal time might be extremely limited, and due to behavior from staff or other residents, they've had food stolen or taken without receiving adequate time to eat. So often those who've been institutionalized for years would often take in their meals as fast as they could that led to unnecessary medical intervention. From the outside, this might seem like a silly habit, perhaps a reckless choice, however, we need the sadder, deeper, darker truth. As many of you know, the treatment of individuals in this country in institutions like these, beginning as early as the mid-18th century, was barbaric. inhumane conditions, filth, starvation, experimentation, exploitation, a lack of advocacy and patient voice, physical, verbal, emotional, and sexual abuse, dehumanization, stigmatization, death, electroshock therapy, and lobotomization. A surgery practice in the 1940s and 1950s which consisted of making holes in the skull, removing brain tissue, and severing the connections between the frontal lobe and the thalamus. In 2021, the Mental Health Project completed a study of over 45,000 individuals living with clinical level mental health risk. Over 50% of those respondents reported not wanting to seek treatment. Half of those respondents, 25%, did not seek treatment specifically because of the stigma attached to their mental health condition. Living in a world fueled by stereotypes and misconceptions, emboldened and weaponized by a society's language, these individuals chose suffering over silence because they do not want people still in the 21st century to know they are living with a mental health condition. I need Supervisor Cox and anyone else who is listening, especially as they serve in leadership anywhere, to understand to use the word crazy to describe people is the legacy that I just described. The legacy that is still present today. Creating stereotypes and harm that would cause people to choose to give up and give in rather than reach out and reach up is the legacy of harm you are wielding. At the last meeting, you lumped people together and insisted they were crazy and unhinged. I personally don't always agree with what everyone says, nor their approach, but I do think it's important for leaders to examine their words and how they speak about the very people they are supposed to protect and serve. There are good things happening at the township, and I appreciate those positives. However, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth often speaks. Worldviews are exposed when accountability rises or we hit challenges. What I witnessed last month was overwhelmingly disappointing, discouraging, and honestly unacceptable. Township leaders make mistakes. We're all humans. You have real feelings and lives outside of here. You're going to have emotions and thoughts and feelings. I would never expect perfection. It's impossible, and I'm not the kind of person that's going to hold anybody to that standard. However, the comments are just several in what has become a consistent pattern that is alarming and concerning. The success of the senior center is talked about often. I think it's great. But do we not recall that some of the individuals that are of that age, that they themselves might remember in their own lifetime the horrors and impacts of things like the psychiatric asylums and lobotomies on people they actually knew? The General Assistance Fund serves those who are economically disadvantaged, elderly, disabled. This can include anyone who might also live with a mental health condition. 1 in 4 Americans will be affected by a mental health condition in their lifetime. Surely all of us in this room might be a person or know people, maybe even deeply love someone who struggles with mental health. When you dehumanize and demonize those who stand and exercise their legal freedoms here or online, all in an attempt to create a false narrative, to distract, or whatever the reason, you are simply choosing to participate in a society that calls the very people who access aid from the township disposable. You're feeding into a system of hate and division where people who choose to come to these meetings, people who vote as constituents, regardless of who they vote for, who are our very neighbors, you're feeding into that system where words become weapons and those weapons become falsehoods that only serve to hurt and harm, not unite and heal. The answer is not in tearing down others. The answer is not in using reckless words or worldviews that have well-established histories of harm. The answer is in taking accountability for self and conducting oneself with the leadership and professionalism that should be expected from anyone serving on a township board. I hope tonight, and in the meetings that are to follow, we can see a township board that seeks light to all of its community, even those who bring to light concerns or questions. I hope that we can see a township board that realizes it has a responsibility and moral obligation to uplift and respect all of us. We deserve this as fellow human beings and as members of this community. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All good? Okay. I can address a couple of the things here. I know that Kathy said about a fee. I want to make it clear. First of all, on the Volkswagen, all right? A lot of people don't really understand how that works and all that, all right? So I can go into depth if you guys want to. It's really not. I'm just going to try to address the comments though, okay? But just in general, it's $1 a year lease from MCT, but I don't think they've ever actually collected the dollar. They pay for the driver, and it has to be a licensed driver, and you don't have to have a CDL because it's under the 15 passengers. and they pay even for the gas, and they even pay for the oil change. One of the problems, wouldn't say problem, is just finding uses for it. We want it moving, okay? So there's a lot of things. So the point was made on social media that, well, this wasn't on the senior center calendar, okay, this trip. There's all kinds of trips that are not on the calendar, okay? Some folks from St. Peter and Paul are using it next week. I don't know where they're going, but they're using our driver, okay? So there's nothing wrong. I did not go, and I totally understand her being upset how you guys go on her page, a private person who has no political sway. I mean, she doesn't follow politics, okay? She's just kind and she's loving. For you to do that and accuse somebody of being somewhere and doing something, and then, furthermore, the FOIA is out there about our driver was drinking. I hope he sues, because you guys got the video, and you know it ain't true, and he doesn't drink. He worked from the school district. On to the next one. So the Volkswagen, we're doing a lot of trips, okay? We just went to Eckers today. There are trips. St. John uses it. Faith in Action uses it. Matt, our old trustee, he took the seniors on to Woodland Towers, okay? Party, I guess, all right? People can use it. That's what it's for. And it is not just for seniors. That is one thing that we have to make sure that we do not do. We cannot discriminate. It's for the Collinsville Township to use. I'm always looking. We used to pick up some people that wanted to come in for bingo and things. I'm looking for ways, but MCT does such a great job. Now they have the micro transit for $1, and they've got all kinds of different pick up and ride, and you know. So we try to use it as we can. And so if there's organizations, I'm constantly reaching out to Faith in Action and St. John's for them to use it. So anyway, on the homeless, yes, go ahead.
So if somebody is using it,
yes,
you know, somebody else, do we have a driver that takes?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a driver that's went through the procedure, the health procedures, right, and all that.
Okay. So they just use him for driving no matter who.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Do we just have one right now?
No, we have two. Yeah, we have. And it's not easy because it doesn't pay a whole lot. It's like his golf money, he says, you know. But and so when he reads this, and he's upset, and I'm just like, this is, it's hard enough to find good people. So my next one is about the homeless shelter. All right, I've been in talks with the Madison County chairman, and he is very pro wanting, because he helped find one in Granite City. All right, and he really wants Collinsville, at least in the area, to have one. And so that was just one of the things that we discussed when we had lunch, okay? But last year, this became very political. Not for me. It was all from our old trustee that wanted to make a political statement, okay? And constantly was talking about how because we have a generator that we have to be a homeless shelter. That's not true. Okay, in 2009, we FOIA'd the stuff. We FOIA'd it, and it does not show that. And if that was the case, then for 10 years, Terry Allen broke the law, I guess, because we weren't a homeless shelter from 2009 until COVID in 2021. All right, this place does, like Mr. Jarrett said, does so much good. If you do that on a cold day, no, we're not doing anything at night sometimes, but Junior Service and some other places, organizations do use this building in the evenings, in the wintertime. But if you do use it, this is a public building. They can come in here after that, okay? Or they can stay in here after. They can stay all day. They can have free lunch, they can play shuffleboard. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to elaborate on that too. It was maybe mentioned that we're not a designated emergency shelter. We are a designated emergency shelter utilized through MADCO, FEMA. So warming, cooling, storms, everything you mentioned, this facility is designated that and may be used by that when called in to
So it'd have to be called in? for-
Well, there's certain things that we could do on instantaneous.
Okay.
When the power went out, to your point, when the power went out, I came personally, opened up the doors, the generator was on, half the town was out. I posted it on Facebook, nobody showed up, but that's fine, I hung out, and so, but we did talk about it in our decennial committee. And there's some of these problems, which goes into the next one. There's some of these things that, this is the Collinsville Township. Did you ask the city? Did you ask the county? Did you ask the state? Did you, it's like everybody points it at us, okay? And so, the other statement that was made that it was not accurate, that that the police did not come to my office and tell me that after the No Kings protest that this stuff occurred. Don, you were there. What did the police officer say? He came in, right. Do you remember what he said? If you don't remember, you don't have to.
He went back there with you, and I did not hear that.
Okay, I thought you could hear from your office. My point is this. He specifically stated there has been an uptick since the protest that we have had all kinds of, not so much violence, but things, graffiti. Do you think graffiti, ma'am? Raise your hand if you think graffiti is good. Painting F Trump on a building. Do you think that's good? Anybody? Kate? That absolutely happens.
No, but for the accurate record, you
That
guys
happened.
are the ones that said it last time.
What's that?
You guys were the ones that insinuated she never said the police said anything about
no,
the
you're saying,
protest.
I'm telling you it's not inaccurate if that's what the police told me. I'm telling you what the police told me.
Correlation,
Yeah,
causation.
but what we're saying is I think what she was explaining in her thing today
Yeah.
is at the meeting last time, the
Yeah.
comments made by the trustees put the two together. They didn't say, hey, the police said this, but the comments insinuated that at the last township meeting, and that's what she was addressing today. So your comments about what the police
it's not
said.
inaccurate if I'm just telling you what the police told me.
Yeah, but she didn't
Okay,
comment
I
about what
didn't-
the police said. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't see anybody, and that's why we now have the police down here, because John Locust, his building has been all destroyed, okay? We got stuff all over this area. It is bad. So the police came, and so our dumpster got graffitied after the protest. The building got graffitied after the protest, okay? So if you guys like that and you think that's good for your community, so be it. I can't stop it. I'm just telling you what I was told, okay? So the next one is the last one there. Again, a lot of this is above my pay grade. We do what we can here at the township. We have a limited budget, and everybody that comes into general assistance, we treat with respect. As far as crazy, I specifically called you guys crazy, because I can be named everything under the sun. Slandered, I can be caught, you have accused me of everything, everything. I thought tonight it was about drilling somebody's head. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to accuse me of that. I'm like, I was waiting for it. So for me to say that crazy, okay. So I wasn't accused, everybody.
You keep saying the collective you.
So,
You knew, I have
just
been here.
you.
I have been here twice.
All right.
I've never. Hold on.
Move on. Move on.
I know, but you do understand. You're saying collective you to people at this table. I've been here twice. Online, I've never called you a name. I've never called
How
you a
do I
name
know?
in a private. Because I've never called you a name, Derek.
Oh.
I've never called you a name here on the thing, and you just collectively group people together.
Just seriously.
It's just
So,
like you can do
anyway.
whatever you want and name people however you want and group them together. Oh, but it's okay for him to say mistreats
Yes,
all
it
the
was my
time.
time.
It's his turn
Your
to
time
talk.
set.
We said
Okay,
mystery,
I'm
that's not
I'm
time.
okay. That's fine.
Yes. All right. So anyway, and I will say this. I do apologize that even right now, when I lose my temper a little bit, but they think it's funny. They've slandered me for a year, for 1 year. All right. My parents, my family. All right. We put our heart and soul into this place,
They.
and I don't need it.
I didn't
And
do
so
any of that.
I'm actually starting to enjoy it. So, but if I slip up and say somebody's crazy once, Sorry.
How many times?
Okay,
Writing.
let's move on to the real business. How about that?
Except I didn't do any of that.
All right.
That's the problem.
Hey,
He
Quiet.
is. He's
So-
saying it, you guys. You're okay with him?
You gotta let him,
Hey,
you gotta let him, you gotta let him,
be
it is
quiet
the
or
rules.
Okay, okay. I got
I'm
you.
done. I'm sorry. I
It is.
apologize.
All right,
My
we're all
apologies.
good. All right, so we'll move to,
Unbelievable.
yes, yes.
Address that
All right,
later.
approval of the trash contract. I have it here, I don't know if you guys got to, let me just go to the attorney to make sure that he was good with it instead of having to rehash everything. That is the actual amendment of it. It's a 3-year extension of the trash can contract.
Evergreen decision, right?
Yeah, we had already extended it once. I think it was a 2-year period. It's just an amendment to do it for an additional 3 years, and then with an option of 2 years after that. So probably when it gets to that point, we may amend it again for a different period of time.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's certain days that our trash gets missed and things like that, but the problem is that it's not like that there's a ton of companies out there, and then when you're gonna go with the new one, they're gonna have to eat the cost and spread it on to you for new cans, and new trucks for new routes and all that, so.
What was the percentage that went up this year?
It was 5%, I believe, each year, 5%. Now, I will mention too, that we had talked about this, if they don't get at least 20% buy-in on the picking up the leaves and limbs, that's gonna go away. What's that, 25%? All right, so meaning if you're in the unincorporated area and you're using Republic Service, and there's only maybe like 5% right now that actually use that service, where each month they pay an additional fee and their leaves and limbs get picked up. If that doesn't go up to 25, they're gonna 25% of the unincorporated area inside the Collinsville Township, that service will go away.
So we just need to communicate that out.
Yeah, and again, the city really doesn't have it. We're lucky that our roads department does some of it. They can schedule that. Exactly how does that work, Kathy? They go on the website? Is that,
No, they just call us.
okay, call you? Okay, but the number is on the website.
Yeah.
They can call and do that. And I think that's why it is lower too, because we offer that.
Yeah, okay, I know.
In the city, you can get it, you have to pay for it, but you can get it.
Correct, yes.
But the city hasn't heard that, have they? Come up with 25%?
I haven't asked them on
Because I
that.
can't imagine there's 25%.
Right. It might happen in the city, yeah. So, anyway, we'll see.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Or is
man.
it not allowed?
Go ahead. That's,
No.
just,
He
If
can
you
allow
live
that.
in the township, not in Collinsville, some of my
unincorporated
neighbors
area.
do have trash, but we're allowed to burn, as far as I know. So
Correct.
I don't
That's
know,
Robert's rules.
my point is, how are you gonna get to this magic number?
Okay, so if you're in a lot of people, and I actually appreciate this conversation. There are so many people, like when the water thing happened, they start going on me, and I'm like, I'm not the city. We are the township. And so what we're talking about, yes, if you're a city resident, you are part of the Collinsville Township. But we're talking about the unincorporated area, which is you're not in either Maryville or you're not in Collinsville, basically. Okay, so you're in unincorporated. That's who this trash contract is for, just the unincorporated folks. So you can burn, that is one benefit, I guess you would say, if you live in the unincorporated area. Okay, so I hope that helps. I can't tell you what the contract is gonna be for the city of Collinsville. I don't know yet. Oh, the leaf, I think it's like around $30 or something like that a month, but I think you have to do it like more, you can't just pick a month and then do it, you have to do it all year, I believe. So, anyway. All right, you wanna, any motions to accept that?
Yeah, I'll motion to approve this.
Okay. And just so you know, she offered to be here, and I told her that I didn't think she. Okay, clerk, roll call.
Trustee Prosser?
Yes.
Dahl?
Yes.
Sewell? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, new business. This is the approval of the resolution in support of the Lions Club. And why I really wanted to do this, the Lions Club really specializes in hearing and vision, and they've come into the senior center a couple of times actually, brought their vision truck in, and they do this service for free. They're having a bowling tournament coming up, bowling day, I guess, up at the Camelot Bowl, and I wanted to support them as we've supported some other really good organizations in town. And,
Motion that we,
and it's $200.
2025-1.
Good job. All right.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Crowell?
Yes.
Prosser? Yes. Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Also under new business, approval of, we were trying to figure out how to word this because I hope I made it clear to the clerk that, and to the board, we don't necessarily have to make a decision on this tonight. We just put it on here in case we wanted to. This is not a rush. I thought it was a great idea a few months ago, and I just don't like to have things kind of linger out there, then all of a sudden a year goes by and you haven't done anything. So this is, there are certain neighborhoods in the unincorporated area, we're talking about again, that, say Lakeview Acres, that you have a problem with speeders. So you've seen the signs go up around town that say it clocks your speed, it says slow down. You know, now there's all kinds of different extra things that you can do. They can report that, they can send it to Madison County, so find, you know, so there is more expense in that. But I reached out to the city, and this is who they use. They gave me 3 bids, and Mike, you had just a moment to look over them, I guess. Basically there's 2 of them with just, they're stationary, they stay in one place, and then there's one that moves around. I was talking with Kathy just a little bit, and it sounded like it's something that maybe she would like to team up with and help out with as well.
Honestly, I think Kathy, she's probably getting the reports of where the speeding or where the problems are.
Mhm.
Just let her figure out, honestly, you know,
Okay.
instead of us, you know, I just gave her some information on it a while back, and she's been taking care of it as far as what type she wants. The cost wise, I don't know, she may have other bids too already.
Yes.
And then just see where we stand on it. Earlier, we were just kind of talking across there, just as I thought, you know, some of these are in the 30, say average of $3,500. So if you put one on one end, one on the other in the middle, it's gonna be there permanently.
Right.
Well, you start adding it up, you're gonna have that 18, 20 grand and the
Right.
portable one. But again, I don't know where exactly her problems are at.
Correct, that was gonna be my next question, because I don't know
So I
either.
think we just need to have her figure out what she wants to come up with, and then we just need to decide what's gonna be better, you know, if she's got options, we can figure out what's gonna be best.
Perfect. You good with that, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good. So, yeah, we'll just, I don't even think we need a motion to table. Okay, all right. So then we'll move on to the consent agenda, that is items A through F.
So you have, from the last meeting, 2 sets of minutes, the regular minutes, and then minutes from the closed session, and then you have the regular report from the executive office, Kathy, and Derek, and myself.
Motion approved, consent agenda A through F.
All right, roll call?
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Crowell?
Yes.
Prosser?
Yes.
Hall? Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, move on to the approval of bills.
All right, approval of bills. First thing we have is the general assistance. We had expenditures of the month, $6,190.91.
Okay, if no questions, roll call?
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Prosser? Yes. Hall? Sewell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Next, Road and Bridge had expenditures in their general funds of $125,661.81.
All motion
I'll second.
Okay, no questions, roll call?
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Okay, Prosser?
Yes.
Hall? Sewell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
We We also had expenditures in road and bridge equipment fund of $23,122.36.
I'll second.
No questions, roll call?
Prosser?
Yes.
Wall? Stewart? Brown? Yes. Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Expenditures for the town fund were $123,369.37.
And I just want to mention this because, and I don't know if you guys got my email because it's sent late. Because in those bills that are all on our website, it doesn't say where that extra 20-something thousand came from, okay? And so that came from a retirement, a check that we sent out for the vacation, so.
Case and sick time, whether the person might have.
Correct.
I seen it as soon as I knew.
Right, and, you know, the thing.
Documentation on the days and hours?
No, so that's, when I was first given this, I was given a handwritten note that said we owed $24,000 for the payout, handwritten. And I was like, so I emailed Pete, and I said, Pete, this isn't gonna work. I need something that I can show the board that this person's getting $24,000. So then that's when I got this. Now, here.
Was that emailed then to you?
Yes.
He sent it
That's
to
the
you.
law.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I sent it yesterday. And it just said, and it's basically the maximum sick time, maximum days that.
Maximum.
The way I read it, the 24,000, you can't roll over.
Okay, so can we, what do we do to stop it?
Well,
It's
This
in their,
all be done
it's in their,
contract.
it's in their contract, right?
Yeah, it's everybody.
Okay,
It's the law.
but they can just, they don't have to provide proof of any
Well,
sort?
I'm sure they have.
That's
office documentation.
that's where but to be honest with you, is that's where I get a little bit annoyed, okay? Because I'll do another thing. Raise your hand if you've ever retired from a place, you have no time clocks, no nothing, you say, I want the maximum, and then they just give it to you. This is my money.
I think they do.
it's not.
Again,
Well, they don't. They don't have time clocks. There's no time clocks.
I
over
mean,
there.
neither do,
need time.
I mean, where I'm at, they don't either.
Here's that.
Right.
We just have a time sheet, a card, whatever. I mean, if we need to, we can
I've
ask
seen the
them.
I've seen the documentation.
At
Well,
least
that's
see
what
it.
I would,
That's fine.
I guess that would be a question then moving forward, because again, I don't ever tell him how to do anything, right? Does what he wants to do. Is that something that this board could say, hey, moving forward, we would like to have it documented when, you know, an employee's here or not here? Is that something you'd have to look into?
Yeah, I don't know if.
They do
off the
field
top of my
work.
head, if it would infringe on anything,
Doesn't
the
know what
union
we do.
contract or
The personal.
the fact that, it's a separate department where they have control over their own employees. type of
Right.
thing.
Yeah, because again, do it however you want. I just want it where it's like, to me, to my employees, it's not fair. We have time clocks. We have time clocks here. We have time clocks there. Everything is documented, how many days you miss and that, because again, it's the taxpayers' money. And so at the end of the day, I'm not saying that she didn't ever use any vacation or any sick. I'm not saying, I can't prove anyway, but we have to pay it. And I think that the majority of the public would probably agree and say, hey, geez, that seems kind of weird.
It's
You know?
not in the union world.
It's the law in Illinois.
But what I'm saying is public dollars. If it's a private business, if it's Anheuser-Busch, and you can do that. But what I'm saying is, though, that's why we're elected. We are elected to protect the taxpayers'
Your
money.
signature's on the contract.
I understand.
Not that way.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes.
Not that.
What I'm saying is, though, if you think that it's better not to have any documentation, then you can,
I'm
that,
telling
you're
you,
one vote.
I've seen their documentation.
So they can present it to us then?
Right.
If you've seen it, you,
Sure, right.
so they can present it to us.
Okay. Yeah, find out what it is.
So, in other
He
words,
submits one.
did we vote on that yet?
Well, we're getting ready to. I just wanted to explain where that extra cost came from. So, anyway, that's fine. And again, that's all of our rights to express what you feel and vote yes or no, you know, so no hard feelings. So anyway, I can't prove that she didn't have it, so, and we've already paid her, and so I'm going to just assume that the best and move forward, but that's my vote.
I mean, again, she had 39 years, and that's a lot. I mean, you're even with me. I mean, I've got a lot of weeks and a lot of sick time built up.
Correct.
When I retire, it's going to be
Correct.
a chunk.
Right.
I've seen a lot bigger chunks than, you know, through the city than that. So yeah, that's.
Yeah. And again, this is all in their budget. They have the budget money right now, so yeah, right.
What month are they gonna run that?
Right now, Jen sent out a thing. It said 267, but on the updated math, they're closer to 300. We're 6 months in, and their budget is 383. So that's where we're at right now. Let's get back to the bill. Do we have a motion and a second? Okay, roll call.
Trustee Ball? Yes. Sewell? Prowl?
Yes.
Crawford? Yes. Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Okay, finally, the senior center for the month had expenditure of $8,290.59.
Motion to accept that. I'll second it.
And just want to mention, for those that don't always look at it and stuff, our lunch money now, because it was mentioned that we're broke out there. We're not. It's gone up. It's up to $24,000 now. So because, again, we're doing a great job, Cinda does a great job, and we've had a lot of people in here.
So real quick, is
Yes.
that money? I know I've seen something you had out there because of the city water. So you get a filtrating system.
Yes, I did, and it's already installed. Yeah, and that was part of one of those bills. Yeah. Actually, I take that back, because this is September's bills. I don't think that is on there.
I didn't see it. when I
Right,
kinda
no,
went
no,
through,
no.
But I just didn't.
It'll be on the next one, though.
right.
And just so you know, on that, speaking, I had one company come out that was highly recommended. Their bid was $2,500. I called, and then I found out the exact system that they're putting in. Looked it up online. It's $250. The exact system. And it's just, it burns me up. And so, anyway, we didn't go with them. And so we got a doubly better system with a pump that can actually more than 7 or 10 gallons. And this is almost unlimited for the day, and all of it under $1,000 installed. So,
How often do you have to change the filter?
one is one every 6 months, and one is every once. There's 3 different filters in it. So, not much, like $40.
Okay, okay, I gotta talk to my wife.
Yeah, yeah, you can get a picture of it. It's pretty cool.
Gotta make sure you get it.
And it does taste pretty good, so, anyway, motion?
She's working all
Got a motion.
Roll call, sorry.
Trustee Sewell?
the, yes.
Prowl?
Yes.
Crawford? Yes. Ball? Yes. Supervisor?
Yes. All right, Kathy's turn, Highway Commissioner's report.
That was some expensive cab mounts on that truck. Expensive cab mounts on that truck. It's dope.
Yeah. We gotta do more, I don't know if that's what they're.
No, the dump truck or whatever, they had to have, make that a bump.
Oh, it was, yeah, more than a bump, so. Nothing's cheap when it comes to repairs and equipment anymore. It's just gotten out of control. But, there's nothing we can do about
They
it.
got to lift the cab and take them out.
Yeah. Basically, I'm gonna report on some of the progress that's going around in the city and the unincorporated area, but Lebanon Road has opened up to where they can get through in Lebanon. They're no longer, taken through Clay School area. So that has been opened up, and then they're supposed to begin on the bridge. I don't know, I've been a little bit frustrated with this project, but that's all I've been being told, so,
The roadblocks have been taken off of Lebanon Road.
yes.
So those, we've been driving all the way up, almost.
Okay, all right, they should have contacted them, but I'm not in charge of any of that either, so. 162 and 157 where they're wanting to straighten out 162, they're still waiting on right-of-ways, purchases of those, so that's the problem, why that project hasn't started. 162 in Keebler for the roundabout will take about 6 months. Right now, they've got traffic opened on 162, you do have a traffic light you have to sit at, but at least you can get through that way. Beltline Road, they had to rebid where they've got those cones because of, they said the tariffs shot pricing way up, so they have to, rebid all that, and it's going to cost a lot more money to get the parts that are needed. I have put in, I'm gonna be purchasing a new sweeper, I'm waiting a few months, for that to purchase, or to buy, and that's gonna take about 6 months to, get in, so. We completed South Shore, it looks really nice, our guys did all that, they did the paving, they did everything, so, we made a bigger cul-de-sac, it's just really nice now, we can finally turn around and not have to back up that road anymore. The money that we used for strictly the paving part, we sent off an MFT will pay for those funds, so we didn't pay them through the fund. Beyond that, that's about all I've got, if there's any questions.
I just want to say the South Shore and the North Shore that you've done, the curb and gutter and all that looks really great out there.
Oh, thank you, thanks. The other thing is too, with routing everybody down Old Keebler for the roundabout project, we did get some trailers out there to try to slow people down, and they had to take them away because they had them promised to another project. So I have I'm gonna just put them permanently out there because we have a lot of problems with speeding there. The signs to go above the signs, it'll say, flash. So those, I've had them ordered for probably 3 weeks now, and they still haven't come in. But, I'm gonna permanently leave those there. And then I'll talk to the guy that I deal with too and get a price. I did get a price on a trailer earlier, then I thought I could rent them. Well, that didn't, go well, so they took them away.
But just let me know, cause I
Yeah.
do have like a miscellaneous fund and stuff,
Okay,
and
I
I just feel
appreciate
that
it.
I'd like to be a part of it. I want you to be definitely the biggest part of it, but I wanna be a part of it and help.
I'll
wherever we
let you
can.
know, I mean, it's, I do probably have the funds to do, I would probably only do one trailer. though.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Right, and then you
Yeah.
can move it to
Yeah,
where the
but-
calls come
Right,
in, or
but I
you
feel
decide that.
Keebler needs a permanent signs there. So
Right.
those will be, as soon as they come in, we'll get them put up.
Can we buy one permanent and one trailer?
Well, I'm gonna keep those up going both ways along the road, so I don't want it just going one way. I want them, both ways when they're coming and going, that they see
That was
it.
for 30,000.
Well, no, actually, I tried.
Yeah.
I was telling you, you're gonna have to have two at the
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, but as far as the trailers go, we'll just have to, cause we can turn that around, so.
Kathy,
I've seen them on
is,
trailers all
on the roundabout,
Mhm.
is Maryville actually doing the roundabout?
Well, I don't know who I'm not a part of it.
Yeah.
I know IDOT did bidding on it in Maryville, and so I know Maryville's kind of the one in charge that could let you know what's actually going on.
Because my neighbors are concerned, they were kinda wanting to know when the completion date
They
was.
said about 6 months,
They're gonna do it in 6 months?
that's what they're saying,
Okay.
yeah. So, and that'll all depend on how bad the winter is, so.
Yeah.
6 months plus or minus another 6 months.
That's how Lebanon Road is, so I can't,
Yeah.
yeah, so anyway, so it's been a little frustrating on that one for sure, but anyway, I wanted to give you some updates. I talked to the state on a couple of the other projects, and I know people are asking, especially about Line Road, but, I think they're gonna have to shut the whole road down when they do the project. And so, so I think they're trying to wait to, maybe some other projects are complete, so there's, passable areas.
Kathy, are you talking about shutting Keebler down or 162?
No, Keebler is shut down. 162, they have lights up, so it's one lane, so you just have to
Oh,
wait
so
at the
they're
light.
gonna
Yeah,
do
but they're
half the
talking
side.
about shutting down Beltline Road when they have to fix that area. So if that road's shut down, I'm sure they wanna have all their ducks in a row, make sure everything's there and all that starts, so.
It's definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yeah.
I've had a few, folks in the township ask in regard to emergency vehicles. Do you have a good answer for them? They're saying the roundabouts are great for speeding, however, they're going to cause a problem with the emergency, like a large fire truck or ambulance.
You know, we don't, yeah, I know the one in Maryville is low, and it's low because of big trucks and that to go over. I have no idea what the plans are out here, because I wasn't included in any of it, so I have no idea what their plans are out there. They're supposed to be able to take big vehicles, so.
When I was driving into UK, a third of the roundabouts that I went, there was nothing to do. There was a circle painted on it. So it was stuff that,
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's why the one in Maryville is so low.
yeah.
All right, I see.
Yeah, I mean, of course you have to slow down, but you should be able
I
to
love them.
get
I
around.
do too.
They
Yeah.
want them for emissions too. It's better for
Seems
emissions,
to go
it's
on,
better
that's a
for
dangerous
How much do we
accidents.
spend a month paying for the electricity to operate traffic lights?
No, probably a lot. That's all the state.
Yeah. I tried to call the county and ask them, nobody up there had any idea.
Well, that's because they're all in the state. If you call the state, they could give you an idea probably. But, yeah, so I don't know. And I know they're supposed to put a roundabout at Old Troy Road and where that overpass is, that bridge there.
Yes, well, I drove through there on the bus the other day, coming from south, on Names Road. And oh my gosh, the traffic, it was way back then. Because it was right when the kids were coming out of school and all the parents trying to get in and out of all of that there.
Yeah, so I think they're waiting for the one, to be done on this end before they would start. I think it's supposed to start next year.
Thank you,
Okay?
Kathy. Next is the assessor, and he sent the report. I will mention, because again, it was online, and I've promised myself I'm just gonna stay off and arguing with people, but I'd love to put this to bed, because it is in his report, again, as of every month, September 2025. Folks out there have it. If you haven't turned in your 2024 homestead, disabled person, disabled veterans forms, they need to be turned in with ID. Same thing the month before. January the 16th, Collinsville Township's most vulnerable, in danger of losing exemptions, seniors, veterans, those with disabilities. We were told, I think you were at this meeting, we were told that they had to be turned in by March. And then, so, Clint, did you check this out? Did you check this out, what I gave you? You agree with...
Oh, I looked at it, why?
I'm just asking, do you agree with what I'm trying to say here? That they can be turned in till December the 31st. We're still taking them in September, we're still taking them in October. There was no, this was salacious, this was propaganda right before an election to try to, they're saying, we were trying to save money on stamps, okay? And we held it and trying to get him to do it the correct way, but they said, and then they were even accusing me of a crime. I have an email of that, saying that I was, for 2 days. But you agree we're still taking exemptions?
I don't know, are we?
Well, that's what he says.
Okay then, I guess we are.
Yep, sounds good. So we are still taking
Why are you calling
exemptions.
me out on it?
No, I'm not, because you were the one of them that was saying
I
that.
never said you stole
Okay,
anything.
well, I
You
didn't
sit
say
here and
stole.
lie about what I
Stole.
said?
No, I'm not saying stole. No, I'm not-
What are
I'm
you
not
saying?
No, we're talking about the stamps. We're
Yeah,
talking
what
about
about
the stamps.
Okay,
You
what
were-
did I say about the
Okay, you were angry that the heat.
I've
that-
never been angry up
okay.
here.
Okay, so anyway, you seemed angry. You seemed angry to me that we did not, and even before the meeting when I was pointing this out, because online, it has constantly been said that,
Not by me.
okay, by your best buddy, okay? And during the meeting, you were on that side. I was just asking. I want to clear it up. So we're good or not? If you don't think that we're still doing it, then just say we're not doing it anymore.
I'm saying that they're reporting they're still doing it.
Okay, perfect. So this headline is incorrect. That's all I was asking. That's all I was asking.
That's a headline
Coming
right
from
now.
you, I didn't say you did. The Collinsville Daily News did. You have legitimacy because you were on the board at that time. And if you said to these people, yes, this headline is crap. If you said this headline was crap, right now, that would help put it in to all the other stuff. That's all I'm saying. Because you have legitimacy with these people. That's all I'm saying.
I have legitimacy.
Yes, you do.
It's because I'm honest to these people.
And I'm not?
I'm just saying.
Okay, so
You're
then.
not honest to me.
You were
Oh, we can keep going. Trustees, ready to talk?
What? Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to it. So, anyway, so I don't know where you stand on it. Good.
Clint has that.
Assessor,
I accept the assessor's
trustees.
office as for filing, so I guess they're still accepted.
Trustees.
That's where I stand. So let's talk about truth
Yes.
and honesty here. So I've been asking for a while, when was the federal application done for our file? And in August, you told me it was done and submitted, and we were just waiting on the. According to the FOIA request in September here, that was an incorrect statement. So the application was actually submitted mid-September.
There's multiple applications.
I'm talking about the federal.
Multiple applications. There's multiple steps. Multiple steps. Correct.
Okay.
Multiple steps.
Where are the documentation of everything that's submitted? And where do we?
Well, you said you have the FOIA request. You said you
I
had
had a
it.
copy of it, yeah.
Okay, so then tell us where we're at. If you know, then tell us.
I don't have it right in front of me.
Oh, okay, so, well, then you're
I'm
asking me.
you. I'm asking you because
Right.
you in August told me it was all done.
Okay, no, I didn't. Listen,
You
it is,
did.
we have applied. I think Bill can actually explain this a lot better because he's
Has
helped
Bill's
out through the
explanation
process. There's
already.
many steps. You can't even, go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not as simple as a regular, individual taxpayer who would just file,
Body camera.
because this is a,
No, it's mine. This is right there. I don't care.
exempt entity.
I read it.
Okay.
I fully understand.
So, okay, but yeah, basically, the accountant is the one who's in charge of that because the person has access to the IRS
All right.
for the file clearance.
So the accountant hadn't filed everything.
You can't even file until after our fiscal year, which is, do you know when that is?
Not here.
Yeah.
End of March.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to wait like 30 days after,
Filing started in May.
April, right.
same as like an individual person
So,
can't file
since
until
May.
February 1st. So like, I think May 1st was the first time anybody could file. You then have to file to get this registration number, get the
Right.
registration number, file that. to
We
get the
didn't
process
file
started.
to get our registration until September, correct?
I think that's when, I think you're on September 8th or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I was told in August that it.
Okay.
No, not, there's
Yes.
been multiple, there has been multiple filings.
I was asking specifically about the federal
But
file.
I'm talking about the federal filing. There's more than just one filing. There's more than just one.
Yeah, the first step.
Right.
according to our attorney,
So you
is
have to also
get
file a
the-
tax return.
You can't file that until you have your guy in.
You know, we absolutely did. We filed another return that is an extension as we're waiting on the number. And we've gotten one number, but we're waiting on the next one. I'm thinking that the government shutdown has something to do with it as well. All right? So, again, I knew you would come up with it because you never even said thank you, East. So against the solar project, we got $189,000 back.
I wasn't
All right.
against the solar project, I wanted a better management on the solar project and offered to manage it for you, and you decided, no, you didn't want me involved at all.
No, I
And
didn't.
even told our vendor
I
not to
didn't.
speak.
We had,
Yes, you did.
we had a great, yes, I didn't know that you were an expert on solar. We had a company do it, not Clint Ball, okay?
I'm an expert on project management, which you aren't.
Well, it got done great. It got done on time. We got our,
Yes, it did.
yes, okay, so they did just fine.
Sounds great.
Right, thank you. Trustees.
Just, and again, just looking at, I know we keep bringing up this with the assessor's office every month. If you haven't turned in your 24, that's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Mike.
So, and I'm thinking, if I don't remember where I've seen it or heard it or whatever, I'm thinking they're still doing it, so let's just say I just turned 65, okay, last month, and I need to do this. I think they're helping people that hasn't done it yet, or maybe handicap, whatever their problem is, if they're needing that help. if somebody gets that position. So I think that's why it's always gonna be there. It's gonna be there every month, I think.
No, I know, right, because
So-
they're not due until December the 31st, you're
I
correct.
know they're not due,
Right.
well, whenever they're due, but I think they're trying to make sure that people don't forget
I love
to
it.
get it done.
Correct.
So, I think that's always gonna be in there.
Right.
There, I mean.
No, and I don't want to have to even bring it up again.
Okay, so
Right.
that's why that's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
I don't know for
I
sure,
agree.
but from what I've heard or seen, they're just reminding, hey, this is what we're doing, we're reminding people, or we're turning them in.
Correct.
If individually, but if everybody else has had it, they have to have them by a certain time.
Correct.
But anybody that just turned that age or is needing help, or, you know, their situation, then they just need to let them know.
Yeah, and no, I'm all for letting them know.
Okay.
That's what I'm just saying, that it was a big mess when that went out to the public, that Collinsville Township's most vulnerable are in danger of losing
Right,
their
and I
exemptions.
wasn't-
That was not true. You were not on the board.
Right.
You were not on the board. You agreed with me at the time, and you didn't. That's okay. I was just hoping that you would say, yeah, that shouldn't have went out. Because I made a statement that said that's not true at the time and got a lot of pushback on that statement saying, hey, no, you seniors are okay. You don't have to fear. They got enough fear already with stuff. So I am all for keep promoting
But
that
if
you
they
can
lived
turn
in
in your
Oklahoma, it had
exemptions.
to be turned
And that's why I
March
wanted that to
31st.
be clear.
Which brings me to the question of, I was here during the time, so is that a specific, are you suggesting it's a specific deadline, and then they've already hit that deadline, and now they're going on?
I think it's just helping, they're sending them out or helping people, let's just say if you turn to that age or you're needing help, I know it's for multiple things, that they're turning one or two in, not everybody in the same time, where Derek had said they have to have it at a certain time, and, you know, whatever the time that is,
If you read
they're
the rest of
pushing
that article,
everybody to make sure they're done, but you're going to get people during that year of age or whatever they need to be getting that extra help. They're promoting, hey, come see us to make sure.
And I think
Is
what,
that, I mean,
I think what this is about, though, is that there was a, huge deal over money and stamps.
oh, that, yeah. And
There
that
was a
Correct.
deadline, they kept saying, oh, no, there's
It's
a
in the
deadline.
article.
See, it's all this mail that's sitting on the counter
Yeah.
that's saying that it wasn't
And
coming
again,
out.
And
Due
so
dates
that's why
are
he,
for everything.
Right.
and to that point is,
I wonder if that's the
some of the things that you had brought up that, I would like to address.
No.
Yes, I'm well aware of what I mean, it was a terrible time for those who are mentally unstable or, struggle, you know, and that's very true. And so I think what you were trying to say was that using the words crazy are to be careful of our
Don't respond.
terms, so that we don't make it look like a blanket statement that we're saying cruel things to our
Even though she's talking
constituents
to
or to the community, to people in the community, if I heard you correctly. And, this is part of it. This kind of stuff that we've been dealing with for years, and I came in before I was on the board, and it's things that are misconstrued, and then when you say, gosh, this is crazy, like, it's kind of the tone of the government, the tone of life right now, is really crazy. Things are crazy, and when people keep doing this to us over and over again, it feels very crazy.
And so I would ask the council, Dane the News is over there, if you could retract this. I've asked many of times to say, hey, this, we regret
She
this.
is a
Or at
she's a
least in the
reporter.
next story say, that wasn't true.
I didn't write it.
I know you didn't. I didn't, no.
She has nothing to do with
I
that.
know. You didn't.
She volunteered.
I'm saying in
for
this
it.
next story coming up, if the next story coming up, that article
He's getting
was
so much.
not accurate.
He's literally
And,
handing her the
and then
lawsuit right
also
now.
I understand that we received letters, for our township to cease and desist through, Ashley. And I just wondered, it can be dangerous, some of the things, and, you all stated that your pickets and your, marching, do not entice any kind of anger or frustration. But when you label specific township people's names and you accuse them publicly, that can kind of incite anger with the community. And and that can be very dangerous to us. And so I would like to know, how you answered that with the cease and desist for us to have a rebuttal or to, answer to some of these public accusations.
So what it was the ex-trustee, Ms. Stewart, sent a letter to Margot, myself, and Bill, and some other folks in the office that we're not allowed to, I guess, talk about her or anything at the meeting. She's
Respond.
again, it's like respond. Somebody can say lies, just lie after lie after lie, blatant lie. Do we have the right, or are we scared to say anything, or we'll get sued? Okay, and so you responded to that.
Yeah, just so the other members of the board are aware, yeah, you can say what you want when you're here, basically. There's an absolute immunity for as far as I know, every legislative body in the country, that when they're conducting their official business, which this meeting would be for the township trustees, you can't be sued for slander or defamation or anything like that. There's actually a specific section in the Illinois Local Governmental and Governmental Employees Tort Immunity Act, which is what governs this, that says that you can actually commit slander, and it doesn't matter. You can
I know that's what I hate.
and you're protected from it. So I think the letter was sent, and it wasn't just sent to the two individuals in question. It was sent to the clerk, myself, the general office email. I think it was sent to Embarrass. So I felt like we wanted a response, essentially saying this is without merit. If you receive further, take countermeasures.
But
And what was
she can't
his
speak to
that
personal
response?
responsibility.
Basically, that they backed down from the tone initially. I think it was just sent as a favor. I don't know that it was thought out much.
I just find it fascinating that somebody that's all for First Amendment, I hear it all the time, First Amendment, but then they want to take my First Amendment away, or your First Amendment. If you don't agree, no. Now you're not for that. You send a letter to say, hey, you can't say anything with my name in it.
But the gist is basically the reason why that rule is in effect in U.S. Congress. It's called the Speech and Debate Clause. They want the idea is that governmental bodies should be able to express whatever ideas when they're attempting to run the business of governing without fear of somebody suing them for
Right. And that's what I mean, part of me don't like it because, again, somebody can say anything on this board, and it's like, oh, we were just having a meeting. And it's like, oh, come on. So, anyway. All right, thank you for that.
I couldn't really hear all what you were saying. So you're saying if somebody does something slanderous to you, being that you're...
Here it goes.
Well, it's saying during a meeting that we can openly discuss. We can openly discuss if she's lying. She's, saying she was claiming that we were slandering her. Okay, because we would point out an inaccuracy, but we can openly discuss.
Township officials are exempt from being sued for defamation when they're conducting official business.
Okay, but the board can't sue anybody sitting out here and saying so.
Well, I don't know that the board would,
Or the individual person, what I'm asking.
It's a case-by-case basis. Anybody can sue anybody for anything. So, anyway.
The reason I'm bringing it up, because the $1 billion that somebody stole.
Oh, they
from the
accused me
board.
of stealing, right, yeah.
And,
It went from 1.3 to $10.
there would not be any protection for that individual under this act. I don't know whether or not there's a case there or not, but what I'm saying is that person wouldn't be protected by the act because they're not a governing body or an officer of a governing body conducting official business.
Thank you. All right. Anything else? Okay. Senior Center, I will make it quick, like I mentioned about the lunch money. We've had flu shots yesterday. We got the water all repaired. I was on it the very next day. Then purchased some some big bottles. I think it costs us $50 for the week. We have multiple Halloween parties coming up. We have trunk or treat coming up.
Preparations look good.
Yeah.
You let her know.
Yeah, I will. So anyway, but that's all good. The attendance has been up. Clerk?
Nothing other than just thank everybody for your thoughts and prayers for my wife. She's doing much better now, so long way to go, but she's doing much better.
So to supervisors' comments, just mention a few things. LIHEAP has cranked back up starting in October. Tara does all this because, believe it or not, that does not fall under general assistance. There's only certain things that general assistance can pay for. That was a little bit confusing because right when this water crisis happened in Collinsville, we were getting calls saying, hey, can you pay for me a water filter through general assistance? So I contacted the city and I said, listen, that doesn't, this is like, it's like a Social Security fund, if you want to think of it in that way. You can only use Social Security for Social Security. You can only use general assistance, and it's very specific, and you have to fall under those guidelines. But LIHEAP does not fall under general assistance, and so that's why we have Tara doing all the LIHEAP, and she's doing a great job. Donna and I are there to help if she needs help, but she actually likes it because it makes the day go by fast. So, we are working on cameras. I got a quote from Zach, and they got everything run. A lot of different cameras on the outside of the building that can really even zoom out from our parking lots and stuff like that. We moved the dumpster, so that was graffiti. We moved that so they can be in camera view. All that.
I don't believe.
Let's see here.
I have good reason to believe he's the one that did it.
Yes, actually, I was going to say that was my next thing. The building lot. I talked to Scott.
You know those cameras he didn't know were there?
So anyway, with Barbara Murphy and about our lot over here, we were talking about, and he had some other ideas as well, and he is a tax-paying citizen. He agreed he would like to see something better for the community, not just take $50,000, $60,000, whatever we can get for the lot. He was going to talk, he went on a vacation, he's coming back, he's back this week, and he was going to talk to Terry's Appliance to see if they ever had a will to move, and maybe something could happen with that whole block, because then that would make it more enticing for a business to want to buy that, if they were going to get rid of that building, But I told him that I think that I would like to still just put it on the market, see what the want is out there before we move forward, if there is any. Let's see here. I do have a question too, because this come up, and it doesn't bother me, but it's, I want to put it to bed. People accuse me of having pet projects. I guess that's like a personal project. You've heard it before. Matt used to always say it's your pet project, and then it's on Facebook that I have these projects like that. I guess they're on my own personal project that I'm working on. You know what I'm talking about? Like, well,
I know what a pet project means.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you don't think we don't have any pet projects going on here? Okay. Sounds good. So because there's many times that we're.
Don't you want to ask everybody else?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you were here.
Why are you picking on me?
You were here. You were here. We were talking about the empty bowl. We were talking about the empty bowl. It was very clear in the last board that it was not liked that we were doing the empty bowl. You recall that?
You're down there, so.
No, I know, but do you recall, member, that the board, it was a big,
I don't.
You were in the audience, you recall that, going down.
Honestly, I turned off.
Okay.
When that nonsense happens, I just turn off.
Well, I want to make sure with this board, that's why I'm bringing it up, okay? Because we need to make sure what we want to do. You want to?
You want to hear?
No, I'm asking what this board wants to do.
I'm for supporting the empty bowl.
Okay, continue it on. Okay, so I want it to be out there. We are continuing on, not Derek, all right, but the entire township board has decided to move forward with the empty bowl.
So many volunteers involved in that,
Correct.
It's not just us. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
isn't. So I think it's a great thing.
But just so you know, the city stopped doing
Yes,
their stuff,
yeah.
okay? And this isn't just, you know, me just pulling something out.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I wasn't gonna be there, couldn't make it, I paid for 2 tickets, I said, give it
Correct.
to somebody that needs it.
Yeah, and we get 16 grand last year. And so, but now, there is some of my staff, one sitting back there, that will put some time into it. That doesn't mean that his other duties don't get met, but I'm just saying that does happen. Gabby helps out, Tara helps out, Don helps out, we're a team, Cinda helps out within the kitchen. I'm just making sure.
How much of the time that they spend on the empty bowl, especially down there at the table sitting where they are on the clock? Is it any of that time or are they all?
Yes, no, so what I had done is, that day, I had given them some comp time and say if you wanted like a half day off or whatnot, that you could have a half day off. And we track that, you know, but my point is that this is all, if they didn't want to do it, they don't have to do it. And all the regular duties get done, this is just on top of that. And because this is the time, if we decided that no, we don't want to do that, then to let other organizations say, hey, the township isn't going to be leading in this, now's the time to let them know, hey, somebody else is going to have to take over this event. That's why I brought it up, because you can't wait until November or December or whatever, because we have to start planning now. Well, it's at our choosing. We had it in March last year. We pushed it back a little bit. Yeah, it used to be Ash Wednesday, but I don't want to be accused of this is Derek's thing. It's not. It's the township's thing. Okay? So just because we work on it. So let's see here. I believe we have the Fall Fest coming up, which is awesome, and all that money goes to the senior center on that one. What's that?
I'm
We
not cooking.
Yeah, that's all right.
I haven't
So-
cooked for a couple of years.
Yeah, but every year we've either won the best booth or best chili, and I really want to thank my mom for really helping out with that Fall Fest. You've always done a great job, and so I know we'll probably have some volunteers from the senior center, and any of you guys want to come up. October the 25th. It's the Saturday before Christmas, Halloween. Jeez. So,
It's out already.
All right, sounds good. Anything else?
Real quick, some new business.
Yes.
Here lately, we've been having problems with parking, and I was wondering
is that
maybe
bright
next
yellow?
meeting
It's
if the
not
board
time
could
to speak.
discuss maybe trying to buy any of this, I'm being serious, any of this property over here, because, you know, some of the seniors are having to park way down at the end of the street here and then walk
Yeah.
up, so.
I'll reach out to them again, because maybe it's something the city would want to work in. You know, I'm always up for trading and anything, but a lot of times though, this guy over here is the same guy that owned this property, and he does not want to deal. So he thinks that's gold over there. maybe there's gold. Right. No, yeah, let's not go into that. That was a year of my life I'll never get back. All right, anything else?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would like to, you're talking about your pet projects and your projects. I don't think that it's a problem at all that you, have projects that you like to do for the community. I think it's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you saying
And
that.
if you have a project that Derek comes up with, it doesn't mean that the township has to fund it or be a part of it.
Correct.
So.
No,
And it's
right.
When you say something, I mean, I think it's great that it's proposed, just like whenever we started talking about our garden.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because if you don't make it clear,
They'll drop the hammer on you.
things like this, last fear of the FOIAs, that was last month's article. That's totally false. In the minutes, Cox led a discussion about the current assistance with the FOIA process due to personnel family issues. Clerk Achenbach is working through. The clerk explained, due to his wife's illness, that he is going to need assistance for the next several weeks, months, responding to FOIAs in a timely manner, and suggested we appoint Attorney Boker to step in temporarily. I can go on, but nowhere in there does it say that we're scared of FOIAs. And I would like to say, and I would like to thank Keely. You've done a great job. You've done a really good job of being fully transparent and getting more FOIAs coming in. We've got Now we've got people, other FOIAs coming.
Am I
on
allowed to
everything.
respond like other people just
Sure,
talked?
yeah.
I did 4 this month.
Yeah, and guess what? We got a lot more.
Yeah, but
we got
not from
them
me.
on every single trustee's personal emails. We got them on all they're all
Not
coming
from
out,
me.
and that's good.
Not from me, you
because
didn't.
there's nothing to hide.
You didn't get those from me.
No, I didn't get those.
I put 4 in this month.
Never done
I've
a
never
FOIA in my
asked for
life,
anybody's
just to be
email.
clear,
but
so I don't get grouped.
Never.
I don't get grouped in. I've never done FOIA in my
Seriously,
life.
FOIA all you want. We are not scared of FOIA, so it should not be printed out
Don't
there.
FOIA all you want.
So-
Please keep
Well,
it.
no,
just-
don't
it's
say
just-
You
that.
know.
Don't say
It's
that.
just
Hey,
a creative.
you know.
It's just a
You
creative
know I'm
title
beyond
for an article.
reasonable.
You're taught that in English class in high
All
school.
right, second.
Not that serious.
Meeting adjourned.
This is the thing, and you see these things, I don't know how to read these yet, the audits in there.